Welcome back, everyone. Well, Outspoken is a captivating memoir that takes us through the extraordinary life of Dr. Sima Samar, a medical doctor, nominee for the Nobel Peace Prize, and lifelong advocate for the women and girls of Afghanistan.
Well, joining us alongside Dr. Samar is award-winning Canadian journalist Sally Armstrong, otherwise known as the war correspondent for the world's women. Please welcome to the show co-authors of Outspoken, Dr. Sima Samar and Sally Armstrong. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Sally, we're going back to 1996, and that is when the Taliban took over Afghanistan for the first time. And you heard about a woman who was defying the regime at that time. So tell us about the events that actually led you to meeting Dr. Samar.
Well, I'm a journalist. I cover conflict, mostly from the point of view of what happens to women and girls. I wanted to meet this woman, but everyone said, I can't give you her name. She could be killed. So I kept phoning, asking, and then finally a woman in Pakistan called Farida Shahid said, come on over here, we'll talk about it. On a budget this big, I went to Pakistan. And all day long, she talked about the ABCs of militant fundamentalism, what a catastrophe this was for the women of Afghanistan, but no name. At 5 o'clock, she said, there's a flight going to Kuwait tomorrow morning. You should be on it. Someone will meet you in the arrivals lounge. So I figured my budget's up to here, I'll go up to here. I flew to Kuwait. Got off the plane, walked in the arrivals lounge, and this woman is coming toward me. She's smiling, she's sticking out her hand to shake hands, and she said, you must be Sally. I'm Sima Samar. I think you've been looking for me.
Wow.
That's how it started.
Wow. That's an incredible story. And Dr. Samar, I understand that you knew when you were 12 years old that you were a rebel. How did you know that at such a young age?
Well, I think I saw the discrimination within the family and also within the society, the difference between boys and girls and the difference between female and male member of the family, including watching my mother, who was the first wife of my father, growing up in a polygamic family. So I decided that I will fight for equality and try to prove that I am also equal to my brothers. And that's why I decided to continue this.
In 1984, you moved to Kuwait, Pakistan, and you opened the very first 24-hour emergency clinic for Afghan refugee women and children. What led you to do that?
Well, I was working in a hospital where they had a branch for the Afghan refugees, and it was only working from 8 to 1 p.m. And one day when I arrived, there was a young Afghan woman who, she had a convulsion, she had preeclampsia, and I tried to help her, and I couldn't find anything. The door of the pharmacy was closed, the labor room was closed. Then I referred her to another hospital. She died, and I decided to start a hospital because I believe that women in that part of the world cannot program their delivery to be between 8 to 1. So that's why I started the hospital for Afghan women and children, because nobody was running any hospital for women and children.
That's incredible. That is unbelievable. Now, in 1989, you established a Shuhada organization that is a nonprofit that operated more than 100 schools and dozens of hospitals and clinics in Afghanistan and the city of Kuwait. Is it true that members of the Taliban would actually bring their wives to that clinic?
Well, yes, I think we started the hospital and schools for refugees and also in Afghanistan. And the Taliban members, they were bringing their wives and children to the clinic. And they were also, sometimes they were saying that I protect their honor. That's why they were respecting me. But of course, that was not the case for every Taliban member.
And that's why, Sally, you heard about the time when the Taliban wanted to kill Dr. Samar.
You know, as a journalist, covering Dr. Samar is a gift because there's always something happening. There's always someone threatening her. But her stories, they'll make you laugh, but they'll make you cry, they'll make you gasp. And this time, the Taliban said, you shut your schools and you shut those clinics for women, or we will kill you. She didn't skip a beat. She turned right around. She said, go ahead, hang me in the public square and tell the people my crime. I was giving paper and pencils to the girls.
Oh.
Caused a bit of a pause.
Yeah. I know, let's powerful. That is powerful. So, Sally, you say this memoir is a cautionary tale about cultural and religious hijacking as a means to silence women. Talk to us more about that.
This is why I believe this book is so important, because it's not only happening in Afghanistan, we're seeing it pop up other places when people hijack their religion for political opportunism, although they claim they're acting in the name of God, everybody's in trouble. And you show me a country that oppresses their women, and I will show you a place that has a failed economy and a dreadful health record. So how much more do we have to do to stop this?
Very powerful to put it that way. It's true. Dr. Samar, you are currently living in Massachusetts. You have not been back to your country since 2021. As people may recall in the news, that is when the government in Afghanistan fell and the Taliban came back into power forcefully. What has this adjustment been like for you?
Well, it has been very difficult, and it's difficult because it's very difficult to find words in order to put the feeling and the emotion to tell how it is when you lose everything, when you leave behind everything that you fought for 45 years for it.
I know when you say it like that, it's we were talking about that earlier about home, and some people don't ever get to go back. But with the return of the Taliban to power, your work takes on renewed urgency, Dr. Samar. So what do you want people to know?
Well, I want the people to know that the Afghans are not born violent. What they see in the media, the aggressive face of men and women behind the burqa, that is not all Afghanistan. Afghans are normal people, and they want freedom, and they want human rights. And I think the international community should feel the responsibility to support the Afghans, because if they ignore the problem in Afghanistan, it will not help the other conflicts around us. So Afghanistan requires its own attention. And I think this time the people in the international community, the United Nations, should learn from their mistakes in Afghanistan and do not repeat it in another country, including Afghanistan. And all the programs should be approached based on human rights, and people should be in the center of every policy and strategy.
Absolutely.
Well
Dr. Samar and Sally, thank you both for the work that you do, both in the book and in the community as well. What an honor to have you both here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
The book is called Outspoken, a fantastic read. And studio audience, you're going home with your copy today.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.